All right, guys. We've seen Igor's statement, PAL's statement regarding Levan, regarding the match, regarding whether it can go ahead or not. And basically, it says it can't go ahead. Basically, Igor and PAL's official statement reads to the effect that Levan is the world champion. According to their organization, he is the world champion. They say that they invited Michael Todd to be part of it, and he chose not to be part of it. And they're kind of implying that Michael's decision in staying with the WAL has precluded him from being considered the world's best arm wrestler. Now, here's the reality of it is, it doesn't matter that Michael chose, or that Devin chose, or that Dave Chafee chose, or that Jerry Caderet chose. It doesn't matter that any of those guys chose the WAL. There is nothing at all that means, nothing at all that certifies, there's no expectation, there's no proof, there's no anything that the PAL guys are better than the WAL guys. Or vice versa, that the WAL guys are better than the PAL. The arm wrestling fans of the world are pretty clear on this. We know who the badasses are, and Michael's one of them, and Levan is clearly one of them. And we're kind of sick and tired of being told it's my way or the highway. And that's kind of what PAL's saying. They're saying, sorry, we're not going to give you this match. Michael, if he wants this match, has got to go and pull Zloty, qualify for top 8, get into top 8, yada yada yada. They're trying to sort of stiff arm the whole situation and say that regardless of whatnot, it's not going to happen. I wrote an article about this problem of leagues and contracts, and I might put the link to the article in the description below. But the thing was that I mentioned in the article was, with COVID, we've been forced into a season where the big leagues, the contracted athletes, they can't do anything. They can't do anything because the leagues can't do anything. There's too much red tape, too many rules with travel. The athletes can't get to events. So there's no ability for any league to create any calendar that is going to stick together. And subsequently, these poor athletes are being told they can't compete. Now is the time to abolish contracts. Now is the time, in my opinion, for leagues to come to the table and realize we might be stuck like this for a number of years. And they will shoot themselves in the foot if they do not evolve. They need to evolve. They need to abolish contracts. They need to work together. They need to think micro events that don't fall over. And a perfect example of a micro event is Levan pulling Michael. Okay, you think about what they have at their disposal right now. They have YouTube at their disposal, and record numbers are watching on YouTube. They could still sell third-party sponsorships. They could still sell pay-per-view. There's nothing stopping a pay-per-view happening directly on YouTube. Allow the athletes to promote their own stuff. Look, athletes are going to do it anyway, no matter what. Nothing is stopping anyone. And we saw it with Michael and Devin. They pulled in a garage. One of the most watched arm wrestles of 2020 was those two guys in the garage. Did that take away from their match in the WAL? Hell no. It actually boosted it and gave us more. Levan and Michael have the same opportunity, and as do all arm wrestlers. I'm really of the belief that organizations like the PAL, WAL, need to be open-minded in this. Need to recognize that athletes need to be able to make money. They need to be able to make a living. They need to be able to compete. And they need to be able to do it now, not wait till next year, not wait till whenever. There is no guarantee that Zloty or Top 8 or WAL or any of the professional leagues get anything significant away this year. As much as we'd like to think that they will, there is no guarantee. So we need to allow athletes to pull. Now, I understand the investment that goes into these businesses. The contracts with third-party sponsors would be significant, but third-party sponsors need to come to the party as well. People like Igor, people like Steve Kaplan, and people heading these organizations need to make their third-party sponsors aware that times are changing and the times need to evolve, and subsequently the way we bring about events. I don't want, please don't under any circumstances think that I want WAL or PAL to fold. Those two organizations in particular are the most credible organizations that hold up arm wrestling in a professional light. They do a tremendous job. They have for a long time. PAL in particular has done it for a very long time. And WAL, a new organization, but equally as badass for production. They legitimize the sport, both of those organizations. They legitimize arm wrestling on the professional sense. So we don't want to lose them. But we need those organizations to allow matches to occur on a micro scale. We need contracts to be abolished. Long-term contracts need to be abolished. We need to develop match-by-match pay-per-view contracts. And then you're free again. You're a free agent. You can pull anywhere you want. But let PAL, let WAL, let anyone who's got money that wants to put on an event. If I wanted to host a match between Levan and Michael, and I had 50 grand in my pocket willing to put on it, those guys should be able to sign a contract with me to do that, exactly that. So I understand where Igor was coming from in his release of his statement. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the vibe that he was kind of almost threatening that if Levan was to pull, he would be at risk of losing something. And he didn't even say what that something was, but he's pressuring, saying, Levan, don't do it. I didn't like that. I think that there is money to be made for everyone, including the organizations, if they evolve to the time, if they realize that they can use YouTube, they can use digital streaming services to create pay-per-view events. Like, honestly, if Levan and Michael were to pull right now on a pay-per-view directly via YouTube, I think there would be tens of thousands of people willing to pay that fee. $1, $5, $10, whatever. I know I'd personally pay $50 right now. I'd probably pay $100. Like, I'm someone who's going to pay whatever it is. But what the sweet spot is to get the maximum amount, we don't know. Trial and errors are going to find that out. But I suspect somewhere around $5, $10 would get tens of thousands of people ready to pay that, to watch. We're all over talking about who would win, and never getting to see it. We need to see some arm wrestling, and this is a match that we all want to see. So I guess wrapping up, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I'd like to see a shift in the way that organization leaders are looking at the current climate, and I'd like to see them shift towards a no contract position, no long-term contract position. Event by event contracts, sure, but no long-term contract positions. Stop locking up athletes. It's not good. It's just flat out not good. And what happens is, like what we're seeing Igor paint Levan and the PAL as the true champion. And that might be the case. Levan probably is the true champion. But the fans of the arm wrestling world know it, that no, you're not the true champion. You're not the undisputed champion until you've beaten the champ of the other organizations. Okay? And that goes the same both ways. Neither organization's champ can undisputedly say that they are unless they get the opportunity. So we as fans, we want to see it. We want to see arm wrestling. We want to see Levan and Michael. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know your opinion, guys. But I think it does need to happen, and I hope it does. I hope it does. And you know, with COVID at the moment, like I said, COVID's gonna feel like it's gonna linger. I feel like it's gonna linger for another couple of years even. And even if it is not lingering, travel and all those sorts of things are gonna be different. And because of that international travel and how it's changed, no matter who you are, you need to be ready to take control of your own brand, take control of your own promotions. And we need to start giving the athletes, the big athletes, the opportunity to do that. Michael building his YouTube channel is a step in that direction for him personally. He's taking control of his own destiny. He doesn't need a league at all. He can make enough money on YouTube once he's at the level that he's aiming for. And if that's the case, there's nothing stopping Michael turning up on Levan's door and pulling him in his garage for money. There's nothing stopping. But of course, we would prefer to see it up in lights. We'd prefer to see it under the professional stages of PAL or WAL or Arm Wars or anything. We'd prefer to see it that way. So for that to happen, the organisers of these leagues need to be willing to adjust and need to reinvent how they create revenue for their businesses. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's very possible, and we should all get on the same page. Anyway, guys, a bit of a rant. I hope you're well. We got a lot of videos about to drop. I'm editing like 4 videos at the moment, so there's a bunch coming out over the next 24 hours. Take care. Love you guys. See you soon.